this is going to hopefully be a brief introduction. Hopefully. I'm quite a talker. Okay, let's start off with why this channel's been created. Two reasons. One is the extortionate prices that are charged for branded pole wear. Two, I've been asked to make outfits for other people, and unfortunately I don't have the capacity to do that. I have damage to 2 lobes of my brain, one of which has left me classified as blind, not slightly visually impaired, actually blind, guide dog level blind. So making things for other people presents an awful lot of challenges. Plus there are 3 under 18s in the house, one of which is a baby, who I look after in the week. Today is the final day of the half term, so this is going to be hopefully a one and done affair with regards to the technical aspects of the creation of this channel, and the videos themselves will purely be focusing on the materials used and how I've constructed things. That's it, I think. Yes, so I took part in a photo shoot September 2024. I've never done a professional photo shoot of any kind before. Found the experience odd, not uncomfortable, only in the sense that I don't like having my picture taken. I'm quite happy with my phone taking a picture of me. A person actually doing it in a pre-planned sense, it doesn't come naturally to me. So there's a few photos where I'm actually smiling. The rest of them, I'm just questioning why am I doing this to myself? So I made my own outfits to act as a security blanket, and that led to questions about where did you get your outfits from? And I pointed out I made them, and that led to questions of could you make me something? And I just can't. So the next best thing is for me to share how I make these things, so other people can make them, and other people can make them. This isn't difficult. I use a needle and thread. Don't use a sewing machine because I will end up injuring myself. My videos don't contain too much talking because the times of which I am filming is either when the baby is asleep having a nap, or it's late into the night and I'm just taking advantage of the fact that it is quiet and I'm able to concentrate on what it is that I'm making. I have a body double. That is not required to undertake the making of these things. It's fortunate that she basically holds my proportions, give or take an inch. I got her simply for the videos, so I could show the outfits without me being in every single outfit. Here's me in this outfit, here's me in this outfit type thing. And so I could work on that outfit whilst working on multiple other outfits. But you know, she is going to be used in the future, purely because it will mean that I can work on things without wearing them, and therefore baby sticky fingers aren't getting involved. If I didn't use Brenda the body double to make something like this, a bodysuit, I would simply either lay the bodysuit in its original form on a flat surface, like my dinner table. I will pin ribbon to it because that's the construction is using quite a bit of ribbon. I'll pin ribbon to one side, normally with a safety pin because I take anticoagulant medication. I'm prone to bleeding. And also with a baby in the house, pins dropping off and falling on the floor and me being blind is a recipe for not a good time for anybody. So there's that. The places that I shop for items of clothing to adjust go as far as Amazon and Primark. I refuse to spend over the odds, knowing full well that the branded pole wear that I've already bought is overpriced and of a quality I associate with Primark and Amazon. For the bra tops that I use, I'm either using a sports style crop top, yoga crop top. They're crop tops. Sometimes crop tops from Primark, like in their kind of nightwear underwear type section, in a no man's land in that respect, or an actual bra, which I've used bras from Primark. They're my go-to now. In the past, I've used bras from Sainsbury's, I've used bras from Marks and Spencer's. Sometimes they're just bras that I just happen to own, and sometimes they're bras that I've seen and I'm like, ooh, I like that colour, ooh, I could do something with that type of thing. So I just kind of keep my eyes peeled, essentially, as best I can, for things that I'm like, yeah, I could do something with that. Yeah, I'd like that. I could do, you know, I can make that into something more than what it is, for a fraction of the cost that I would pay for branded polewear, with the added benefit of it being fully functional for my body type and looking bloody fabulous at the end of it. So when it comes to actual crop tops, I will use, like I said, the no man's land variety of kind of nightwear, underwear stuff in Primark. I'll use sports crop tops, so ones with a huge amount of lycra and structure in them. I'll use basically anything I already have, or anything I happen to buy and I'm like, man, that's not quite right, I could do something with that, then I'll do that. I scan the branded polewear sites for inspiration and see what price points they're sticking stuff out, and then I'm like, I could make something. I'll just look for something similar and I'll jazz it up and I'll make it so it purposely fits for me, which is the benefit of customizing your own stuff. It's not an industry standard size, and there appears to actually be no typical industry standard size. The bras themselves, when it comes to using a bra, I'll either use a full cup bra that's got like no moulding to it or anything. I always wear underwired bras, I just always have, so every bra that I use is underwired. That's just my preference for the bras I like to wear. Push-up bras, specifically I fell in love with a £5 bra from Primark. That's a black satin push-up bra. So the push-up bra doesn't really contain a huge amount of padding, so working with it is easy. So if I need to sew through the cup because I'm looking to attach feathers by hand by sewing them on, it's less work for me to get the needle through and back, and also doesn't distort the inner part of the cup. Whereas if I was to use, I think they're called maximising bras or something, where they have a real thick layer of padding like on the underside, you can potentially distort the inner of the cup depending on your sewing technique. It's completely avoidable, but my go-tos are the push-up bras, because they have enough material to cover your breasts, with the added benefit of them also being very supportive, so you can invert and nothing will spill out. Whereas with the maximising ones, because it is sort of more of a push up and forward, there's less coverage at the front there. It's workable, you can work around it by attaching a panel across the front to kind of combat gravity, as it were, when you're inverting. I haven't made a video with that in yet. I am going to. Underwear wise, I've used shorts style, I've used thong styles, I've used high-waisted, high-leg styles. My go-tos are high-waisted, high legs. I just love the cut, they feel comfortable, and I don't think that there isn't a single body you can put a high-waisted, high-legged dance pant on essentially and not look fabulous, because it comes up over the belly button, so you instantly get cinched at the waist. So whether you are fuller figure or whether you are straight up and down, you are going to get drawn in there to create a nice sort of shape to your hips, as it were, without really trying, without having to adjust your camera angle when you take a picture and stuff like that. I have found alternatives to branded polewear. This information will be contained in the descriptions of the videos themselves, and I will say, you know, this is this much, this is how much this brand is, and they are similar materials. For instance, literally sometimes carbon copy in the mix of nylon to spandex. They are a carbon copy in the way that they sit on the body. The breakdowns of costings will be as follows. So if I've spent $7.99 on 10 ostrich feathers, which I have done, but I've only used 5, which I have done over there, I will give the cost of $7.99. So when you see the price pop up as like, all right, that's how much it is. That's how much it is for the entire thing. So I spent £3.29 on 23 metres of red satin ribbon. I've not used 23 metres of red satin ribbon on that. I've got a good 20 metres at least left on that roll. But the prices will be as a whole. So you'll end up with leftovers, essentially. Crikey, is that it? I think that's it. I've told you why. I've told you how it's going to be sort of displayed. There's not much talking in my videos. That's purely because when I'm recording, I'm either doing so whilst my granddaughter is napping, so talking is kept to a bare minimum so I don't wake her up prematurely, or I'm working in the dead of the night through till 4 o'clock in the morning, where I'm not feeling particularly chatty, but I will have text boxes on the screen describing what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. There are obviously videos where I am talking, they just happen to be less frequent, or there's periods in the videos where I am talking, but it's less frequent. I started doing this at the start of February, and today's the 24th. I had multiple outfits on the go. I have discovered a way of making many outfits out of one, which I'm just thrilled about. So I actually have this thing here, and it pleases me no end. So this is my interchangeable crop top. The video on this one, I believe, is going to be the longest one on the channel, at least so far anyway. It's 36 minutes long, and that's because of the technicalities of doing this top. So this is a crossover top. So if you were to wear it without it crossed over, the cup insert that it comes with, the opening for it will be visible. So you have to wear it in a crossover formation. I discovered this tape, popper tape, and that has been, along this journey, an absolute game changer for me. So if I have popper tape on my dance pants, which I do, I have a pair of thong style dance pants and a pair of high-waisted, high-leg dance pants. And I've positioned the flat side of the popper ribbon onto the pants in the same colour. I even got one up here. No, I haven't. They're downstairs, unfortunately. The flat side, because that way, if I don't want to attach anything to it, then I've got a small square of black ribbon with a small circle. But because they're strategically placed and they're placed uniform on either side, it doesn't look odd. So I've not lost the use of a pair of dance pants, and it also means I can wash them easily. I basically wear underwear with my dance stuff anyway, so that's not a massive concern. But however, because I've not got the permanent attachment of my feathers to them, they can be buzzed in the washing machine easy peasy. The same with the crop top here that I made. I can attach my feather panels that I've made to it and wear it, or I can not attach them and wear it, and I can also still wash the crop top. Okay, some of the stuff that I made is extremely delicate in appearance, all completely functional, but you'll see from what I make as to whether it's geared towards more of an artistic pose, whether that's a pose where you're bending over or you're up in a figurehead or something is irrelevant. You'll be able to gauge from simply the appearance. Am I going to be able to sling myself around for an hour, like rubbing my arm against myself as I go? Or is this more of a case of this is just purely for aesthetics? I love both. I love the functionality of the stuff that I create. I love the delicate prettiness of the stuff I create. So far I'm only using feathers because I love birds. and I love feathers. And they offer so many options in colours, in the types of feathers. You can create so many different looks really, really easily. You can bend feathers, you can curl them in, you can curl them out. You can increase your bust size with the use of feathers. You can increase your hips and your bum area with the use of feathers. And simply by doing those two things, you are shrinking that waist automatically. If you happen to be heavier on the bottom than you are on the top and you want to have a more even appearance, you would add a fuller part to the bust area. You would attach a feather boa, for instance, videos on that. Equally the other way around, if you are top heavy and you want to increase your hip size, then you would do the opposite. The possibilities are endless. I only use a needle and thread because I can't see properly operating a sewing machine unless it's unless the house is super quiet, as in there's nobody here. It's not a risk I'm prepared to take because I only have to have a little background noise. My attention is broken, and then I have sewn through my hand. I've already stabbed myself up the nail bed of my thumb whilst I think I was actually working on what Brenda's currently wearing. And to pull a needle out of your hand is very tricky because there's nothing to kind of pinch onto. So, needle-wise, sharp needles, narrow needles, curved needles. That's it. You don't want some flat-headed, broad needle, because what you're going to be working with, if you're sticking with this, is kind of intricate. You need fine-pointed stuff to not snag your materials that you're working with, to not break up the feather formation permanently. Yeah, I think that's it. I knew I'd forget something. I'm normally forgetting at least one thing. I've done really well. I'm just quite pleased with myself. The other thing that I use to help me with my sewing is I have a tall craft lamp. So if you imagine like just a regular floor lamp that you may have at home that has a bendy neck to it, like a telescopic neck, I have basically a floor craft lamp. So that allows me to sit at my dinner table, which is my preferred place to sit and work, rather than my bedroom, which sometimes happens. And it has a magnifying glass on it, a large, like literally a large one, but also it's got a strong magnification to it. And around that is a light, so I can have warm light, cool light, some other light. It's got 3 different light settings to it. But basically, when the light outside is not good, which for me is practically every day of the year, I will have my light on with my magnification so I can see what I'm working on. For people that can see just fine, you may find it just beneficial based on light levels of where you're going to be working, and just general fatigue to prevent eye strain, I suppose is the best way to describe it, and therefore making the crafting experience more enjoyable and less of a slog. Yeah, so that's basically it. Moving forward from the channel, beyond what's already going to be uploaded, everything that's going to be uploaded will be done in February this year. So anything after February is a new thing. So my intentions are, I'm going to make toe protectors for heels. I'm going to do a more detailed video on embellishments to clothing you already have. So you may not want to make a super drastic change to things you already own or things that you've bought, but you want to just do a little something. There'll be a detailed breakdown of how I do those things. There'll be potentially a more detailed breakdown of how to increase the coverage of the crotch area. So I found when I've bought, and I've got several bodysuits to work on, this is just my first one, I found that typically bodysuits, because they're lingerie, they don't provide much coverage on the crotch area, or the bum area. With bum area I'm not so concerned about because that's each to their own. But the front area, whether you're posing for a picture or you're doing a routine on the pole, I think we all like to feel a little bit secure that we're not giving away too much here, are we? So I have a way of adjusting the size of the crotch area. At the moment I'm only using feathers. I've not really investigated much on that, but then I'm a feather kind of nut, so I can't see myself potentially going beyond feathers. I can see myself using feathers in different ways. For instance, I have every intention of making feathered flowers, because that will give a 3D effect to things like body suits or just to crop tops, where you can then have a different formation. So instead of covering entire breast areas, you perhaps only go for like the neckline or something like that, or perhaps you only go under the bust. But feathers are so hard wearing, as delicate as they are. They're incredibly good at resisting damage. I can shape feathers, you can full on curl certain feathers. I've got peacock feathers I'm desperately trying to find a bodysuit for, because I want to create something with those feathers. I can't find the right colour at the moment, which is annoying me. But yes, you can curl feathers back on themselves, so you get a lip to them. You can curve them to create, for instance, I've got literally tail feathers, where I've curled the feathers, and I've created the shape of my bum to be more curved. To wear them on a pole, they don't interfere with my ability to grip. Whereas if I'm going to, for instance, I do have a chiffon overskirt. I have a Lunarlay outfit that actually is like pole pants with an attached overskirt. It's lovely, but there are some moves that if I try and hit, if that skirt falls in the wrong place, I have no grip on my inner thigh, which can be quite problematic when you factor in gravity. But with feathers, because obviously they're individual, whether they're sewn to a ribbon fringe, essentially, they will move. So yeah, we're rivaling pole brands. We're working to our own body types, and we're going to make them look bloody brilliant.